Hello, my lovely Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is your reading for the week of July 26th, starting today. So, Aries, the first thing that I see with you, it's kind of a stereotypical thing, but it is you with horns, and I don't think I've ever seen you this way before. But what's kind of comical is it's like your head's down like this, and you're locked with another set of horns who I can't see, and you're turning your head and it's kind of like, well, how did this happen? It's not quite what I planned. And there's almost that sense of, okay, now how do I back out and how do I untangle my horns? What I'm getting with you, my dears, is this. This feels to me as though this is a style of how you approach situations that could be potentially conflicting. And that it's not just about how you are with other people. It's not just, oh, I did this and they did that. What Spirit is saying is, can you look at what your role is or was? Now, it can be around a specific situation, but it can also be, Aries, around a style of how you handle potential conflict. And it seems to me as though there are two possibilities I'm being shown here that are the two most likely. One is that you can be quite positional and proud and say, this is what I need to do, this is what should be done, and I'm going to try to enforce that. Then the other one is you can just back away and become kind of complacent, maybe a little bit more accommodating than you would like because you want to avoid a conflict, or you just disappear completely. However, what you're being told here is what's relevant in this is you are a fire sign, right? And you start things, you do things, and it's great. It's wonderful. It can really set projects off. It can really activate positive change. But what they're saying is the kind of force that is used sometimes with you is the force that comes from the ego, the personality. So there's a tendency sometimes for there to be a quality of pridefulness. And when I say pridefulness, I'm not talking like healthy pride. I'm talking like perhaps tinging a little bit on arrogance. Not always, but sometimes it can kind of creep in there in a way that just expresses itself as, well, of course I'm right. Look at the facts. This is logical. You should do this, this, and this. It's going to be easier for everybody. But what's really happening is they're saying, in order for you to be able to understand whatever the loss was in any of those situations, because you have lost some things because of that, whatever the loss is, you are able to be liberated from what those personality aspects were, those drivers, those unconscious drivers, to be forceful in a way where it's a controlling thing as opposed to kind of creating cooperation thing. And what they're saying is, by being compassionate towards yourself, you can be curious about your role. You can step back and say, oh, okay, well, now let's see. How did I get my horn stuck in there? How did I turn my head? How did I step into that when I could have stepped back, when I could have stepped sideways? All these different things. It's by staying in touch with what you were actually feeling at any given moment when you were making those choices of how to deal with this situation or this kind of situation in your life. What was your role? How do you understand that? Get in touch with what your feelings were. So, for example, you might say, well, my role was, well, I pushed the agenda for the family meeting and people weren't ready. Well, okay, what was my feeling behind that? Oh, my feeling behind was that if I didn't do that, so-and-so is going to interfere and create confusion, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And that was a fear. So it was a fear-based thing that was pushing me to try to force this meeting, right? That can be at work, can be home, can be just in general a way of thinking about things. Look at what your role was and look at what the emotion was beneath that role, because that is going to help give you an idea of what you are able to drop that is going to set you free. It's going to give you the ability to now adjust your way of communicating so that you can create cooperation more easily. And notice anytime you find yourself going into any kind of righteousness or self-righteousness or sense of must fight, must be warrior, because that can be things that are taking you back into karmic patterns. Karmic patterns are there, they show up because they've got something to teach us. It's not a punishment. So if there's a karmic situation, what is it you need to let go of in order to liberate yourself from that pattern? Okay? That seems kind of big, but they're also saying, please be compassionate with yourself, because as a fire sign, sometimes you can be a little hard on yourself. Of course, there are also other times when you can just ignore the whole thing. You choose, my darlings. But if you're watching this channel, I feel as though you're the ones who are going to want to be able to let go of anything that's holding you back. Drop it so that you can liberate yourself and be more highly engaged with your life in a really proactive, positive, cooperative kind of energy. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, my dears. Hope this is helpful. Take care, and thanks for stopping by.